Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 20 of the April 2021 series of articles all rating the Light paper, an online truth paper, available on our website at thelightpaper.co.uk. We are on the interview section on page 16, and this month's interview is with Right Said Fred and was written by Mark Plain. Right Said Fred have made their mark in multiple ways. They were the first UK band to debut at number 1 in the US since the Beatles. They have clocked number 1 hits in over 70 countries. Millions sing their classic I'm Too Sexy. Now they stand out again by being one of the very few bands with the courage not only to have spoken out against the current state of politics, but have put their feelings and observations into the lyrics of We Are Criminals. What happened 20 years ago that made you click? Fred. When the band first kicked off, there were lots of lies told about us. They said we were both gay or that we were lovers. It struck me that if they were happy to tell such easy lies about us, the lies can't stop there. I started reading authors like Paulo Coelho, that's Coelho. I was introduced to Alex Jones and liked him until he started shouting. I moved on to the Power Hour and Richie Allen, then CIA whistleblowers like Ray McGovern. I'm not a David Icke fan, I just don't click with his style, probably in the same way he might not like our band, but that said, many of his predictions have come true. I followed the media monarchy and the Corbett report. I then came across the QAnon people. I don't agree with them all, but find them interesting. I've now been down the rabbit hole for 20 years. Because the Operation Lockstep plans have been discussed since 2010, what is happening now isn't as shocking for me as it might be for some. Richard. I think it all started with seatbelts. When you buy a car, you buy the space inside, yet we have allowed the state inside our spaces to tell us how to behave. Now you're not even allowed to look at a cigarette packet in a shop. When bad things happen, it's not God, it's the state. We then expect the state to put it right. And now the state takes responsibility for our health. The state also has godlike all-seeing eyes with CCTV cameras. Fred. And also they're getting people to snitch on each other. Richard. When growing up, if the Second World War was mentioned, people would say, well, it couldn't happen here. British people are not thinking for themselves anymore and just doing exactly what they're told. The state tells them how to behave, how to socialise, how many vegetables and salads to eat, and when to watch the TV. It's the salami slicing of intrusion. They used to say people were only aware of the British state 3 times in their life, when they got married, bought a stamp, or when they died. Now the state is in your face 24/7, even to the point of putting footprints on the floor, so you know where to stand when out and about. Fred. It definitely feels like a spiritual war. People are being divided. I don't think it's a coincidence that there has been an attack on everything to do with mass gathering. Pubs, community centres, churches, parks, gyms, there's been an attack, all of them. This is meant to be about our health and well-being, yet they close down gyms? We used to manage gyms back in the 80s before Sexy broke. The one thing you do is you keep gyms really clean, not far off from a doctor's surgery. Richard. It's all been about fines, gloom, finger-wagging, control and coercion. There has been no sort of spiritual uplifting message at all. People want some hope. Which reminds me of the lyrics of your November 2020 song, We Are Criminals. Can't kiss, can't hug, can't dance, can't love. Tell us how the song came about. Fred. Although Right Said Fred are meant to be happy, we needed to purge our system of some dark, cynical thoughts, and that became We Are Criminals. Our latest song is Your Inner Light is Love, and is much more of an upbeat, positive vibe. On the march through London on Saturday the 30th of March, the inner light was very obvious. Richard. I was with the lady from Portsmouth. She said Her friends at work and neighbours think she is bonkers. Being with like-minded people was psychologically really important for her. Fred. We've both had problems with depression. Richard deals with it better than me. I fell apart about 6 weeks ago. I could feel my spirit and well-being just disintegrating. I felt really lost and adrift. It was horrible. Things like last Saturday's 20th of March protest are really important to people's mental and spiritual state. There will be a lot of people suffering at home, feeling desperate. What advice can you give them? Fred. It's difficult. On the one hand, you don't want to isolate yourself. On the other hand, if you go out, you can feel more isolated because you're surrounded by lunatics in masks. Finding like-minded people online or in real life helps. Editor. Help distribute the light paper! ! Exercise, even if it's a walk, is absolutely vital. I read and listen to people that I find upright inspiring. I listen to music that resonates or makes me feel good. Although you might want a burger and chips, you've got to be careful not to shovel too much rubbish into your body. When the government is waging war on us, we need to be fit and healthy to deal with it. Interviewer. Back to the 20th of March, the protest took over central London. A stunningly peaceful and upbeat atmosphere. How many people do you think there were there? Fred. There were 3 marches, Oxford Street, the Millennium to Downing Street and Trafalgar Square. I reckon there must have been 120,000 people. Richard. The BBC said there were 12 people. Interviewer. Did you notice the difference with the drivers beeping, given their support? Fred. Huge difference. I was stunned. The response was incredible. I found it really heartwarming. A friend of ours who's never been on a march before came along and screamed, "This is great." Interviewer. As famous artists, you guys have had the courage to put these songs out there. Where are the other pop stars? Fred. My gut feeling is they have got managers, agents, sponsors or record labels breathing down their necks. Anyone who has a sponsorship deal with a sports company or the perfume will have a clause for best endeavours, meaning at all times you must do the right thing in terms of representing yourself, the record label, and not put record sales at risk. Back in 1995, we decided to go independent, so we are free to speak. Richard. If you go back to the 60s, music was at the forefront of protest. Pop has withdrawn itself. Fred. It's us. Ian Brown, Jim Corr and Van Morrison. We're surprised how quiet people like Gallagher or Stormzy have been, even though Liam Gallagher has said a few things about masks and stuff. And the older punk bands? The Damned even have a promo with them wearing masks. On a positive note, we came out of the March 20th protest of 100,000 or more with an amazing feeling. Interviewer. What would you say to everybody going forward? Fred. Vote with your feet and shop locally. Non-compliance might sound like a cliche, but millions are a force that cannot be reckoned with. People don't seem to understand their collective power. I expect that the spirit of like-minded people coming together will make for change. I think the numbers will be massive at the London protest on April 24th. Interviewer. What's next for Right Said Fred? Fred. We've been commissioned to write an autobiography, and one of our films has now been fully funded. We'll create another EP for June or July. Upbeat, feel good. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. To see the full video interview, go to notonthebeeb, BEEB, that is, .co.uk. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.